Zodiac has the strongest set of anime characters? That's the question we continue to answer today. Welcome back to the series where we rank all the Zodiac strength based off of the anime characters that are born in each sign. If you haven't seen part 1 where we did all the Aries, go ahead and watch that. And if you've already seen that but you don't want to hear me explain how the strength levels are, skip to here. Now we will be ranking all the characters on a tier list, a strength scale based off of the One Punch Man threat level. Starting at our wolf tier, this is the appearance of a being or group that might pose a threat. Then our tiger level, this is a threat to a large but unspecified amount of people. Our demon level threat is where it starts to pose a threat to the whole city or its foundation / its functionality. Then our second to last one is the dragon. This is a threat to multiple cities. Our final threat level, the god level threat, is a threat to humanity itself or just the entire world. Oh yeah, we also added a 0% threat just in case, you know, they're, well, useless. And one last thing before we start is that 1, I am 1000% correct on everything I say and it's all fact. And 2, if I don't know the character, I probably didn't include them. So if you see a character in the series that I missed, feel free to yell at me in the comments and explain why they are a god level threat. So we now have them all right here in front of us, and as always, we're going to go through each one of these individually and we are just going to put them on the list, starting with Akamaru. Very interesting character to start with. I think he's probably a good either wolf because, well, he is a dog, so it would make sense, or a tiger level threat. It kind of depends because Akamaru by himself isn't very strong, but him with Kiba is a very different story. You know what? We're gonna start him at wolf because, well, technically he is a dog, so I'm just gonna put him there for right now. Next we've got O or Ao, however you really want to say it, from Aoashi. Really great series, but he does not really pose a threat. Maybe on the soccer field he might pose a threat, but not in a fight. Next we have got Arthur. Arthur's a very interesting one because realistically it all depends on his imagination. Now, I am not caught up with the manga, so I don't know how strong he is at this current moment, but I gotta at least put Arthur at a tiger level. You could argue he could go higher, but like I said, I don't know those stats, so if you are a Fire Force fan, please put that down below because I'm genuinely curious. Next, we've got Ayato from Tokyo Ghoul, one of the best ghouls in my personal opinion in this series, but I think he's probably in the same boat as Arthur. I don't see him being able to be a threat to a whole city or its foundation, but a definite tiger level threat is a very good spot for him. And next we've got Baki. Baki is easily another perfect spot for a tiger level threat. I mean, he has a lot of intelligence. He is an insanely strong ninja. You might be able to argue he could take a threat to a whole city, but I just don't really see that happening. Next, we've got Baro or Boro, however you really want to say it, from Blue Lock. Now, I know he is in a sports anime, so he isn't a threat, but if there's anyone in any of those series that I would not want to like physically fight, it's him. I'm gonna put him in a wolf level threat. You guys could argue that if you want, but I genuinely think he could probably beat the shit out of a couple people. Next, we've got Caribou from One Piece. Now, he's also another very interesting character because he's at least a tiger level threat. You could also make an argument for a demon level just because, I mean, what he can do to people is very threatening. He could, you know, take multiple people hostage and kind of something like that, but I'm just gonna put him at a threat to a large number of people. Now, his information in the One Piece world, you could argue, is a lot higher than that, but for me right now, we're just gonna keep him in a tiger level threat. Pudding, and honestly, Pudding, I'm gonna put in a wolf level threat. She could pose a threat. She does have a lot of knowledge about stuff in the One Piece world, but at the end of the day, she's not that strong, so I'm gonna put her at a wolf level threat. Next, we've got Charon, the dude from Fire Force. I don't know how to say his name, but I'm actually gonna give this dude a whole city level threat because as far as I remember, he was stronger than Arthur. That might be mistaken. You know what? I don't know what I'm thinking. We're just gonna put him right next to Arthur just because I don't know enough to put him in that next level threat. So that's where he's gonna go. Next, we've got Coruscant from One Piece. We're getting a lot of One Piece characters. I think he's got to be a threat to a large number of people. You could even argue that he's a wolf level threat because he isn't that threatening. He isn't that strong. His devil fruit is pretty good, but he himself is not a threat. I'm gonna put the top of wolf because, well, he does have some good good connections, and I mean, if Dofi was on his side, you could definitely argue for way higher. Next, we've got Denki. Now, honestly, with his electric charge attacks, you could definitely argue a whole city level threat, just because, I mean, he pretty much could be a walking, like, EMP. I'm gonna, just for right now, since we don't have anyone higher up, I'm gonna put him there. Also, because I believe with his one strong attack would probably fry most of them. So, we're just gonna put it there for right now. Next, we've got Escanor. Escanor is very interesting because Escanor is at least a demon level threat. I mean, he's a 7 deadly sin. Like, he is a demon. Him in his all-out, like, strongest form, you could definitely make an argument for threat to multiple cities. I'm gonna put him there for right now. We're gonna see if it stays there, because I don't think it will. For right now, I'm gonna put him there. Next, we've got Gaunch from Black Clover. Now, him as himself, not a terribly aggressive or terribly terrifying threat. If you put his little sister in danger, this dude's a god level threat. Now, we're not gonna take that. Most Black Clover characters, I think, are at least in the whole city slash foundation of a city level threat, because they do have some insane magical abilities. I think it just makes the most sense. Next, we've got Ichigo. Now, personally, I have only seen the Soul Society arc, so it's a little bit biased that I don't know is a full strength, but I'm gonna kind of have to put him in the same category as like Aizen when it came to strength and unknown ability of myself. I'm gonna put him pretty high. I'm gonna at least start him in a dragon level threat. There's probably an argument for God. If there is, please comment down below, because I would love to hear that. And you know, maybe this will be like the last one and maybe he'll bump up or bump down. I'm not 100% sure, but we are gonna keep him there for right now. Next, we've got Jirobo. I love Jirobo. Him and Choji have some of my favorite like background fights in the series. He, I think, is a perfect threat to a large number of people. Him himself, I don't seem able to, you know, do anything to a whole city. Get the sound ninja all together, they're definitely a whole city level threat. But for him himself, I'm gonna just keep him there. And we got another Naruto character in Kiba. Now, see, Kiba and Akamaru, you could definitely argue for a tiger level threat. I think Kiba himself is definitely a tiger level threat, and with Akamaru, they're both probably there. And since, honestly, just because they're both on this list, I'm just gonna put them next to each other, because I think that makes sense, because we're never gonna get one without the other. And if they had different like star signs, then hell, I probably would have dropped Akamaru. But they're on the same list, so I might as well keep them together. They're going there. Next, we've got Lily. Oh, okay. This is a very weird one, because if we're going in the anime, Lily's a 0% threat. But if we're going in the manga, she's at least a high demon level threat. I'm not going to say why, because if you don't read the Black Clover manga, you wouldn't understand. But I am gonna put her there for right now, and we'll kind of just see if she stays or not. Personally, I don't know if she will, but I'm gonna do it right now because I think that just makes the most sense. And since I'm reading the manga, it's kind of a fair assessment to put her there. Next, we've got Lucky Roo from the Shanks, Red Scarred Pirates. I forget what their name is. Why can't I think of the name of their pirate? He's incredibly strong, but I genuinely don't know enough about the Shanks pirates as a whole, because we really don't know anything about them. But we know this dude is insanely strong. I'm just gonna save myself the trouble. I'm gonna put him in a whole city level threat. One Piece fans, let me know if that is correct or not, but as of right now, he's going there. Next, we've got Deku. Now, Deku is a very interesting one, because once again, you could always argue that he is a 0% level threat, because Deku will never hurt anyone. But in the manga, with the current fights and with season 7, you guys are about to realize how insanely strong Deku really is, and I can't put him anything lower than a dragon level threat, because he absolutely destroys anyone in this row. You guys can try to make an argument, but it's just not gonna happen. Deku, with all of the abilities that he ends up having and whatnot, he just deserves it. In the fights that he's currently up against, it just makes sense. You could definitely argue a threat to humanity, but I'm not gonna put him that high. Next, we've got Mika from Licorice Recoil. I gotta put him in at least the tiger level threat. He's a trained assassin, and he can fight fight people with literally no leg or arm. I think it's a leg. I think he's missing his leg. Next, we've got Present Mike. Present Mike, I think, is a demon level threat. I mean, at the end of the day, he can beat most normal people. Like any normal fight on here, if he yells loud enough, no one's beating him. Like, that's kind of something you have to take in effect. Is he a great fighter? No. Does he need to be? No, because his quirk is that ridiculous. Next, we've got Izuku's mom. She is a 0% level threat. She's a lovely lady, lovely mom. But as far as a fighter goes, she's not a threat. Next, we've got Momo, not from Avatar, the Momo from Jujutsu Kaisen. And I think most Jujutsu Kaisen level characters are either tiger or demon. I would probably say she's stronger than Denki, but probably not by much. She's got her good powers and abilities and whatnot, but at the end of the day, sheer output, not as strong as a lot. So I'm gonna put her there for right now. And next we've got Nami. Nami, ooh, you could definitely make an argument for a couple different spots. I think at minimum, she's a tiger level threat. If we're counting Zeus in everything like that, she's at least a demon level threat. Like, we know her attack with Zeus can level a city. So I think at the bare minimum, she's a demon level threat. I would say she's probably stronger than Denki. I'm gonna put her right on our Present Mike. I think it's a really good spot for her, actually. Next, we've got Nanami. Where to put you? Where to put you? He should go in demon level. He's gonna be Denki. He beats her. I don't see him beating Gaunch, though. I don't see it happen. The power difference is just too drastic. I know Jujutsu Kaisen fans think all your characters are unbeatable on a different level, and it's just not true. Next, we've got Natsuro. Another Todoroki. I should have just said that. And he might pose a threat. We know he has a quirk. We know it's more of the quirk like his mom, but at the end of the day, we haven't really seen him do much. I'm gonna put him above both of them, or all of them for right now, but I can't put him any higher than that. Next, we've got Neji. Neji is insanely strong. I've always made the argument that Neji is an insane fighter, and he could probably maybe do demon level damage. He's not a damage output kind of character. He's more of a defensive close combat. If he's doing close combat versus a lot of these people, he's probably winning. Like Neji versus Nanami, I'm taking Neji every single day of the week. Actually, now that I think about that, that's a really good point on maybe Nanami's not that strong. Okay, you know what? I didn't want to do this halfway through, but we're dropping some of these characters. You guys can go down. Okay, next we've got Neptune. I mean, he is a king. He's at least a threat to a city or a foundation of a city. I would probably put him right around Lucky Root just because he is strong, but he's not that strong. So I'm just gonna put him there. Next, we've got Rock from Tower of God. I think Tiger level is a great spot for him. I think he's really strong, probably right around there. Right around there is a good spot for him. Next, we've got Ritsu from Mob Psycho. Now, I've got to remember how strong he really is because I know he is incredibly strong, but I just don't remember exactly where. I'm gonna go a nice, easy demon level because I would assume Mob is a high demon level, so I would probably put him as a lower demon level. I'm gonna go with that, and if it's wrong, then it's wrong, and I'm sorry. Next, we've got Roberto from Vash the Stampede. I mean, he's not that much of a threat. If anything, he's like a tiger. Like, these two are about the same level to me when it comes to, like, being terrifying and whatnot, so I'm gonna put him there. We're gonna leave it at that. Next, we've got Rishui. Another Blue Lock character, but I would definitely say if these two got in a fight, Boro's winning every single day of the week. He might beat him on the field, but in a fight, he's winning every single time. Riraboshi. One of the sons of Neptune. I would obviously say he's weaker than Neptune, so I'm gonna put him in here. I'm actually going to put him right under Caribou because I think that's actually a pretty solid spot, and I don't think there's too much of an argument there, but you could always argue about it. Next, we've got Sailor Moon. There's no argument. If you want to say anything other than a god level threat for Sailor Moon, you genuinely don't understand how strong Sailor Moon is, and that's okay. But she's going to beat everyone on this list without even thinking. So there we go. Next, we've got Shinso. Now, technically, with his you know, his quirk, he could be a god level threat. I'm just saying. Now, is he a god level threat? Absolutely. But he is incredibly strong. I am going to put him high. He's definitely higher than Denki. I'm going to put him right around here. You could probably make an argument for these two, but I'm just going to put him above because I think he would definitely be able to outsmart him in a 1v1. So that's where I'm going to put him. Next, we've got Shoya from Haikyuu. I love Shoya, but he's no threat. He is no threat in real life. On the court, big threat. Real life, no threat. Spike has got to go in at least a Tiger. He's got to go at least a Tiger. I mean, he's a criminal. He is going to be doing his work, but at the end of the day, he's not that strong. So I'm going to put him right there. I think that's a pretty good spot. Next, we've got Takamichi, and honestly, he's in the exact same spot. Not actually, no, Takamichi, you can go down. He's not going to pose a threat himself. He's not strong. No. Next, we've got Tanjiro. I did post a video and people were saying that Demon King Tanjiro is like insanely strong. But given that I haven't seen that and I'm never going to read the manga for Demon Slayer, I have to go from what I know. And from what I know, he's a threat to a large number of people. I'm probably going to put him right around there. Next, we've got Toru from Haikyuu. Haikyuu as well. He goes there. Next, we've got Toka. I mean, she has to go right next to her brother, right? Didn't she lose to him? Did she lose to him or did she beat him? It's been so long since I've watched Tokyo Ghoul. I'm going to put her right under because I think they're right in around the same spot. So I think that's a good spot for her. She's a threat to multiple cities, without a doubt. You could definitely make a good argument for her being able to beat most of them. But, I'm going to just keep her there. I'm going to keep her there. I think it's a good spot. I don't think it's too much of a thing to ask to keep her there. Vash is kind of like Deku. You could put him in a 0% level threat. We're not going to do that, but you could definitely do that. We are going to put him in a Tiger level threat. I'm going to put him right with Spike because these kind of lower level guys are strong, but they're just not that much of a threat. So that's where they're going to end up. Next, we've got Virgo from One Piece. Now, Virgo is strong. I'm just going to put him at the top of Tiger because I see him being able to beat pretty much everyone here, but I don't see him able to beat the people up here. Like, him and Nanami would be a good fight. Like, if he is, it's gonna go like this. Like, these three would be a really good fight. Honestly, anime fans, let me know, which of those three do you think would win in a fight? I'm genuinely curious. Next, we've got Vermilion. Now, Vermilion, I think, is at least a Tiger level threat. I think I'm going to put Vermilion here at the bottom. No, he's beating Virgo. He's beating Nanami for sure. I'm going to keep him there. Vermilion's not beating anyone up here. I know Vermilion and Present Mike, you could argue, are like on the same category, but no, it's no. Next, we've got Valenda or Valendia from 86, one of my favorite series, but she does not really pose a threat. She's a captain. She's not really on the battlefield. She's not really doing all that stuff, so she's gonna stay there. Next, we've got Yagami, Light's dad, and he might pose a threat. I mean, he's an officer. That's as far as I could really get with him. Next, we've got Yatora from Blue Period. He goes in a 0% threat. I mean, he's a painter. He's not doing any damage to anyone. And next, we've got Yuki from Horime, and she's also a 0% level threat. But before we end, let's go ahead and go through these really quick and see where everyone's going to rank on the board themselves. Starting with our 0% level threat, I think everything's fair here. Next, we've got our wolves, tiger levels. These are where it gets interesting because a lot of these could move around. I think out of all of these, I am going to keep Arthur at the top. I'm going to move Caribou and Baki. They're probably right around the same. Definitely. I'm going to just keep them together because I think that's easiest. Mika, I'm going to put him at the bottom. The demon levels. Yeah. She's beating Deku. Nah, maybe she's not. Ichigo's honestly, this is kind of fair. I think Ichigo, we're going to put Ichigo in the God tier just because I don't want to just have one person in God. I feel like Ichigo probably deserves it, even though I don't really know, but I'm going to just give him that. Lily might even be able to beat Escanor, but I don't think, no, I'm going to keep it there. I think this is a pretty fair list. So this is the final ranking for all the cancers. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, guys, if you did enjoy this video, as always. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Bye.